Hey, welcome back to the podcast. I want to talk with you today about gardening, backyard gardening, and do you actually have room for a backyard garden? So often if we have limited space, that keeps us from getting started because we think it is not possible for us to grow. But it is actually super easy to grow in your backyard, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of creativity depending on the amount of space you have, but it is totally doable, and I am going to share with you today how. So let's go.
Hi friend, do you dream of having a garden but you don't know where to start? Do you want to switch to more natural products but feel overwhelmed by all the options? Do you believe that a holistic lifestyle would help your special needs kiddo but you're daunted by all the information out there? Welcome to the Special Kind of Motherhood podcast, where you will learn how to work towards your dream for homesteading, gardening, and holistic living in small, simple steps that won't overwhelm you. Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a wife, Jesus follower, and mom to some amazing kids. As some of my kids began experiencing health struggles and developmental delays, I decided it was time to switch to a holistic lifestyle. I quickly became stressed out and burnt out, feeling like I needed to change everything at once. I finally realized that I had to start making one small change at a time, then build from there. I learned to walk this holistic journey in a way that works for me and my family, without stress or overwhelm or constantly feeling like I wasn't doing enough. If you're ready to hear from another mama who understands what it's like to have no time and who can help you make changes towards better health for your family in a way that works for your specific life, then this is the podcast for you. Pop in your earbuds, reheat your coffee for the third time, and let's do this.
Hey mama, if you are looking for a community of like-minded moms who are into this whole homesteading, holistic living, gardening thing, but you're struggling to find your tribe, then come head over to our free Facebook community and join us there. We would love to get to know you more and to hear more about you, to be there for support for you as well. You can find us at facebook.com/groups/special kind of motherhood. I can't wait to see you there. Okay, so you may be wondering, can I actually grow anything? I don't have a very big backyard, or maybe you don't have a yard at all. Maybe you live in an apartment and all you have is like a deck or a patio or something like that. Is it actually possible to grow something? Do I have enough space to grow something? I would say, regardless of any of those situations, the answer is yes. You can get very creative. You can grow in containers. You can grow in a green stalk. You can grow in pots, whatever it is. You can absolutely grow something. Now, this is going to depend on your specific dynamics, how much space you have, what you can grow. But I do want to encourage you, get creative. You absolutely can grow things. It just takes sometimes a little bit of creativity, maybe using some more non-traditional methods. Maybe you're not growing in the ground. That's totally okay. You can still grow lots of stuff in a container and just get really creative with it. But I want to share with you some of the specifics of our family and what it is that we grow and how we really grow quite a bit in not that big of a space, because we actually only use, I actually measured it out. It's less than 2,000 square feet of space that we actually use in our yard, in our property. We don't even own a full acre. We don't even actually own a full half of an acre. And we're just under half an acre. And my kids, we have an entire front yard. My kids play in our backyard. They have enough equipment to have basically a playground back there. And we still have a garden, and we still have chickens, and we still have a space for rabbits. We don't have rabbits yet, but we do have a designated space for them when that time comes. So it's absolutely possible. I will share with you some of the things that we have grown this year. This is things like potatoes, melons, we have berry bushes. We have peppers, squash, lettuce, beans, okra, all kinds of herbs, tomatoes, tons of flowers, radishes, cucumbers. I'm fixing to plant some carrots. I will also plant rutabagas, broccoli, cauliflower, any kind of those more fall type crops I will do. Part of that is that we're doing a rotation. So I succession plant things in place. When something's done, I pull it up and I plant it there in its place. But I grow in the ground. I grow in stacked planters. I grow in raised beds. I have a lot of variety. And I've just got to be the point where I really have been trying to be very meticulous with planning out, okay, where can I fill in and put something here? What can I grow here? Just very intentional with trying to fill the space as much as I can. Oh, we also have strawberries. I've totally forgot. I planted a bunch of strawberry plants this year as well. So we will have those to add as well. it really does. It's amazing to me how much food we can get from the small amount of space that we use. It's just to give you a rough idea. The actual garden space is probably about 12 feet wide by, I would say, 60 feet long. And we are able to grow all of these different things in there just by getting very creative with that space. Now, maybe you don't have any desire to grow that much stuff. Then get you a green stalk planter and grow something on your back deck, or get a couple of raised bed planters and grow some things in that. You can absolutely, and I encourage you to start small when you're starting out. But I just want to say, if you have this idea that we don't have enough space, I want to encourage you that you absolutely do. It may take a little bit of creativity. It may take growing in different methods than you thought were possible and learning how to do those, but it's definitely possible to do that. It's something we've done, and I've honestly been so pleased with the amount of food that we have gotten from our garden this year. It's been great. It's been wonderful. I do wish we could expand, and that is something we would like to do eventually, but for now, this is where we're at, and I'm making do and making the most out of what I have available to me right now, while also not getting in the way of my kids being able to play and be kids and live life and all of that. It's just bringing both of those worlds together. It's absolutely possible. I wanted to share, you can just start small. Like I said, start small, work your way up. Some tips that I have to help you with this would be to, like I said, grow in containers if you need to, grow in pots, different things like that. One of my number one tips is to grow vertically. I have several cattle panel arches that I actually grow things up because that helps to maximize my space. And I can just grow, like I actually have watermelon, I have beans, I have different kinds of pumpkins and stuff growing up these trellises because it helps me to be able to grow these things that require a very large space to spread out. I don't have that space on the ground. So if I can train them up, and I am getting smaller variety fruits because I don't really want to have to mess with hammocking them up so the fruits don't fall down onto the ground when they get too heavy. So I tend to grow smaller varieties of fruit whenever I want to trellis them up something. The same with cucumbers. I will trellis those. I have delicata squash, honey nut squash that I'm trellising up different types of panels and things like that. But growing vertically really has helped to maximize our space. And honestly, it just looks pretty. My husband and I both love a good arched trellis. It's beautiful to have just green beans completely covered in it and you can walk under it. Very, very nice. You could also try another method would be the square foot gardening method. That's a great way to maximize. There's actually a book on it you can get and read if you want, but that's a great way to really maximize your space so that you're growing as much as you can in a small amount of space. And then, like I had mentioned before, growing in containers. That I think is great, especially you can combine the two. If you get something like a green stalk, you're growing it in a container, but you're also growing up vertically to maximize that space as well. I've just found that to be very beneficial for us. And like I had mentioned, we also have chickens and we have a spot for rabbits, which we have not gotten into the rabbits yet. But what I have found for chickens is we're able to have 9 chickens in our space, up to 9. And still have our garden in that area as well. It's all attached together. That was my goal. I wanted the chickens to be right there with the garden because as we have things coming out of the garden that we are either it's gone bad or I'm pulling out old plants or whatever, I can just immediately give it straight to the chickens, which I really appreciate. On the other end of the garden, we have a spot for rabbits for the same reason. Rabbits actually do not have hot manure, which means it doesn't have to be broken down over time. So you can just literally put it straight on the garden. You don't have to put it somewhere and let it compost down or anything like that. You can put it straight down the garden to fertilize your garden. So that's my goal eventually for the rabbits long term. It's been really nice being able to really utilize this space and not feel like I was stuck in the fact that I didn't have acres upon acres of property. That meant I couldn't grow a good variety of food. That's just not true. So I just want to encourage you, get very creative with it and just share with us. Come hang out with us in the Facebook community and share with us what are some creative ways that you are going to utilize your space, no matter the size, in order to grow some food for you and your family. I would love to hear from you and hear what is going to work for you. What is your plan as either you're going into the fall garden or you're planning for spring next year? I hope you guys have a wonderful week and I will see you back next time.
Hey Mama, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share this with a friend who is wanting to live more holistically without the overwhelm? Also, don't forget to head over to Apple Podcasts to leave me a review. It blesses and encourages me to know that this show is helping you. All right, friends, it's time for me to go work in the garden and make some homemade bone broth. I will see you back next week.